The Braves return home from their 7-game road trip and face off against the division-leading Washington Nationals. It's the start of a great 3-game series as these top 2 teams in the National League East meet for the first time on this Memorial Day weekend. It's a beautiful night for baseball at Turner Field, where all season long Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. A hot, sticky night. Temperatures approaching 90 for 2 hot clubs in the National League East. The Braves 1 game behind the first-place Nationals, and they meet in Atlanta tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe back at the ballpark. Time for the Braves partner to get healthy at home as they go head-to-head with the first-place Nats tonight.
Well, the Washington Nationals have been a great story, primarily because of their pitching. It's been in first place in a lot of different categories all season long, both as starters and relievers. They've had a slew of injuries, too. But a quick report and update for the Atlanta Braves on their MASH unit. Brian McCann's feeling better. He's available today. So is Matt Diaz, who's in the lineup. And Freddie Freeman might play with glasses on tonight. Chipper Jones is available to pinch hit, but his leg's still very sore.
But the big key for Atlanta tonight is Tim Hudson. Can the Braves right-hander be the stopper in Game 1?
14 career wins against the Nationals, and in his last 8 home starts, 6-0, so he's always tough here at Turner Field. 2-1 in his last 3. The only loss in there was that 1-0 loss to the Chicago Cubs. He's the subject of our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. Let's hope those career numbers against the Washington Nationals hold up tonight and the Braves take Game 1.
He'll face lefty Ross Detweiler in the opener. A hot, sticky night for baseball. A great way to start the Memorial Day weekend. It's the Braves, it's the Nationals, and first pitch is coming right up. Levon Hernandez.
Doing a little TSA there on Michael Bourne before the game. He's ready. He's clear.
Man, it's great to be back at home. Braves finishing up a stretch of 16 of their previous 20 games away from Turner Field, and still with the final week left of this arduous stretch of 33 games in 34 days, and we're back home with the Nationals in town. Washington with a one-game Eastern Division lead. This will be our first look at the most talked about rookie in baseball since, well, Jason Hayward a couple of years ago. That's Bryce Harper in right field. Adam LaRoche has arguably been the best Washington player this year. And former Brave Rick Ankiel is also in the lineup tonight. He's in center field and hitting seventh.
Tim Hudson makes his 200th career start for the Atlanta Braves, and boy, has he been good after a loss. Since 2007, 60 starts after a loss, 32-15 record. He's 3-0 this year, and after that series in Cincinnati, he is the right man for the job tonight. Overall for the year, 3-1 with a 3.03 ERA. And his 4 keys to pitching success tonight: shoots and ladders. Well, not really shoots and ladders, but more like cutters and sinkers off his slider, but that doesn't go with shoots and ladders. Anyway, a big-time stopper, as we just pointed out. He can come in a big game like this where the Braves could move back into a tie for first place. Great success against Washington. Let's hope that continues tonight, too.
And Steve Lombardozzi's the Washington left fielder. He'll lead things off. And a quick strike starts tonight's ball game. Official game time temperature 88 degrees. And 9 batted in. And he's taken over for Jason Worth, who's out with a broken wrist.
What they're doing without Worth, without Morse, without Drew Storen, without Brad Lidge, they lost Zimmerman for 17 days. It's been pretty remarkable, but their pitching has done a great job of covering up all those absences.
Nationals have the lowest ERA at 2.90 in the National League. And Harper with a line drive on a 3-1 pitch has the first Washington hit.
Had to throw a strike, and Harper right on it. Bob Boone said of Harper in spring training to me, he said, "I've never seen anyone swing so hard and make so much contact." Usually that guy that's swinging hard and overswinging is swinging and missing a lot.
Harper does have a couple of stolen bases this year. Let's see if Davy Johnson's aggressive in the first inning. Zimmerman, Washington third baseman, as Joe mentioned, has had injury problems this year and has had problems with Tim Hudson.
I'll say 8 for 46. That's pretty good for a pitcher to dominate a good hitter like this.
Fly ball well hit center. Bourne going back, still going back. That's over his head and off the base of the wall. And it'll be a double for Zimmerman. Harper stops at third with one out. That ball seemed to find a whole nother gear.
Another pitch that wasn't where he wanted it. Something that almost looked like a backup slider. Stayed out over the plate. But back in the friendly confines of Turner Field, stayed in the park.
Here's Adam LaRoche, the former Brave, leads the Nationals with 33 RBIs, good for fourth in the league. But Adam in a tailspin right now, just one for his last 20.
That was kind of strange territory for Adam to get off to such a great start. He's typically a very slow starter.
That almost picked off Bo Porter, the Washington third base coach.
April and May up to this year, a 228 average in the first 2 months. This year, 297. And in the absence of a lot of their sluggers, he's really carried their ball club offensively with 33 RBIs.
Couldn't stop himself. Now Tim ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Adams struck out 37 times in 145 at bats. Hudson would love another one here.
Trying to keep the ball down and in on him, and as long as you're way in, that's good, and that one was, because he's always been good at just dropping the barrel of the bat on anything down around the knees and middle of the plate in.
Did not get the outside corner.
Tried a backdoor slider here. Maybe a cutter. Wasn't enough. Third 3-ball count of the inning already.
Fouled away at the plate. LaRoche still alive. 3-2.
Braves will concede a run with the infield back. Brian McCann looks a lot better today than he has the last 3 or 4.
Inside corner, LaRoche took it for strike 3.
Got that one to back up. A 2-seamer. All that work inside paid off. as LaRoche expected it to stay inside or cut in on him off the plate. Instead, it backed up over the inside corner. Great pitch.
But one more very big hurdle. That's Ian Desmond, the shortstop. As Joe mentioned, he really has profited from hitting down in the lineup for the Nationals. He hits the first pitch up the middle for a hit. Harper scores, Zimmerman scores, and it's 2-0 in the first inning.
Not the type of homecoming that Tim Hudson and the Braves wanted in the first inning, but a lot of work here this inning. Up over 20 pitches, and Desmond, after the strikeout of LaRoche, picks on the first pitch. He's up to 23 RBIs.
11 of those in the last 14 games. And here's Danny Espinosa, the Nationals' second baseman.
Guy's been striking out a lot. 51 strikeouts in 154 at bats, and he's a switch hitter and only hitting a .198 left-handed.
Line foul again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trade-off for Espinosa is, even though he's 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, he hit 21 home runs last season. But also struck out 166 times in the 2011 campaign.
Yeah, he can swing it, but sometimes you fall in love with your numbers and think that you got to hit, instead of 21, hit 41 this year. Tim's inning by inning run allowance was 5 in the first inning, but all those came in that one start in Colorado, and now 2 here tonight.
And he keeps trying that inside corner and is not getting much luck. 2-2.
That was as good, if not better, than the pitch to LaRoche.
And that is a hit batsman. Espinosa will take the trot to first base. Desmond at second. And Hudson's very long first inning will continue. He's up to 27 pitches.
Back of the right arm. May have caught part of the jersey too on his side.
Rick Ankiel's the 7th man to hit.
He's been cold, just 3 hits in his last 20 at bats, but last year really enhanced his numbers for the year just against Atlanta alone. Killed the Braves. 4 homers, 9 RBIs in 14 games, and just 5 homers total against everybody else.
This year, and Keel at 231, 3 homers, 9 knocked in. High fly ball left center. Bourne long run. Still going. At the wall. Can't get it. It's off the fence. The ball bounces away from Diaz. Scoring is Desmond. And all the way to third is Keel. And Washington picks up 2 more runs. Espinosa comes around as well.
Well, coming off the series in Cincinnati where the Braves had to play really short-handed and couldn't wait to get back home, this is not the start that they were hoping for, especially with Tim Hudson on the mound. If there was a mistake made here, it was that Matt Diaz backed up that play a little too close to Michael Bourne and had it bounce over his head.
Catcher Jesus Flores now bats with 2 outs. So Rick Ankiel does it again to the Braves in this first inning. Little looper, shallow center. Bourne, though, makes the catch. And that retires the side. 4 runs on 4 hits, including a hit batsman. Ross Detweiler staked to a 4-0 first inning lead. Presented by Blimpie. We are with you at Turner Field here in Atlanta, where the Nationals have jumped all over Tim Hudson and lead 4-0. Here's how Freddie Gonzalez lines the Braves up tonight. Slowly but surely, some of the regulars getting back in that lineup, most notably Freddie Freeman, who was experimenting with contacts and glasses during batting practice today. Let's see how he fares against left-hander Ross Detweiler.
Detweiler is 26 years old, 6'5", 190 pounds, out of St. Louis and Missouri State University. Got off to a good start. His first 5, he was 3-1 with an outstanding ERA. His last 3, he's been knocked around. 0-2 record, a 7.31 ERA, and a batting average of 3.38 against him. Lifetime against the Braves, he's 1-0, and in his 19 innings against the Braves in his career, he's never given up a homer and hasn't given up any runs to them in his last 11 innings against them. his Ford keys to pitching success tonight, his hook. He's got a good curveball. He's got to have that to be effective tonight, and he needs some early confidence. Well, I tell you what, he just got it. He got it in the form of a 4-run top of the first, so he's already got some confidence and room to work.
Rick Ankiel, a 3-base hit, drove in the last 2 runs for Washington. Now Michael Bourne to work out of the Braves leadoff spot. Michael at .315 for the year, 4 homers and 15 driven in.
This guy throws hard. He's 92 to 95. Also will feature a changeup to go with his curveball.
Bouncing ball to second. Espinoza, 1 out. Here's the Washington defensive lineup tonight. Lombardozzi, Ankiel, and Bryce Harper from left to right. Adam LaRoche, as you know, a great defensive first baseman. And the catching spot has been a sore subject for the Washington club this year. Injuries have really decimated their catching roster this year.
Yeah, they lost Wilson Ramos for the year with a torn knee ligament. They called up a minor league catcher by the last name of Leon. He got hurt the first day he was up in the big leagues.
Martin Prado's been the hottest Braves hitter. He had a 9 for 25 road trip and is 10th in the National League in hitting.
Detweiler's last start came in interleague play against Baltimore. He got beat 6-5. 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs.
Two and two. That'll reach the seats to the right side. And Prado, another 2-2 count.
It's calmed down a little bit from the beginning of the season, but here's another left-handed starter. Braves are 9-8 against lefty starters so far on the year.
And Martinez enjoyed hitting against them. He's approaching a .400 batting average this year against Southpaws.
It was too hot to see the steam coming out of Tim Hudson's ears there, but I'm sure there was some.
And humid too.
After the top of the first.
Now Prado forcing Detweiler to pile up a few pitches.
Yeah, he might have gone after ball 4 there. If there's good news for the Braves in the fact that they're down 4-0, it is early, but it's also Detweiler is not one of their aces. I mean, he got up to that good start, but recent days his numbers have not been very good. So despite their great success on the mound this year, he might be the guy that lets you get back in it.
Martin continues a good at bat here in the first.
The 11th pitch.
And he rifles one into right center field. That's going to get down and roll for a while. And Keel's got a cannon. And Prado with a one-out double. That's a great way to reward an 11-pitch at bat.
And Martin hopes Bryce Harper plays him right where he was playing on this pitch. Very shallow. I'm sure they're trying to take right field away from Martin, who likes to hit the ball that way. But in the process, he gets a gapper.
So Freddie Freeman goes to work. And he bounces the first pitch into the seats foul for a strike. Let's see the eyewear, if any. For Freeman. No glasses.
He said he had some new contacts too that were pretty comfortable. He was just going to see which one was better during the batting practice.
That missed a corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Washington's played good defense behind their pitching so far this year too. Braves are tied for the lead in defense in the National League with 24 errors. Nationals have only made 26.
So Davey Johnson matching up with Freddie Gonzalez this weekend. Now 2-2.
Chin-Ming Wong was added to the active roster for this series. He's been battling some arm trouble for several years, and it was thought that maybe Detweiler would feel a little pressed tonight to have a good game.
Freeman down on strikes. That'll bring up Dan Uggla. His work against the Nationals is our SunTrust solid performance.
Last 17 games against the Nationals, 5 homers, 13 driven in. He scored 13. Nice to see some damage right here.
One ball, no strikes.
Was 3 for 22 on the road trip. That long homer the other night in Cincinnati, his only long ball. Seems like every reference we have anymore, Chip, is about something that happened on the road, because the Braves have played, again, they've played fewer home games than anybody.
And 16 of their previous 20 games away from Turner Field. There's Matt Diaz, our Delta Airlines on deck batter. And Uggla way ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike.
And this is Detweiler's third 3-ball count.
That's something else Dan has done very well under radar. He's third in the National League in walks. Might surprise you. That was his 28th. And now Matt Diaz to work. First and second, 2 outs.
Good crowd on hand tonight, and expect a good crowd all through the weekend.
Planning on coming to the ballpark. Use mass transit. Get here early. A strike to Matt Diaz.
Be nice to just put 1 on the board here and get some confidence going and get some momentum back after that 4th spot in the top of the inning.
Bouncing ball to second, and that will retire the side. The first inning took nearly 30 minutes to play, and Washington leads the game 4-0. Brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. An early taste of summer in Atlanta, where Washington leads game 1 of the series 4-0 as we move to the second. Ross Detweiler is the Nationals pitcher. He'll face Tim Hudson. Back to the mound. And 1 out. Georgia Power customers can get a free in-home energy audit performed by an energy expert from Georgia Power. Learn how to save money and energy around your home. To schedule an in-home energy audit, go to georgiapower.com. Lombardozzi struck out to start the game and bounces 1 towards second. Easy play for Dan Uggla. 2 quick outs.
That first inning outburst a little indicative of what the Nationals have been doing offensively this month. It wasn't so in April. In April, averaging a little under 3.5 runs per game and only hitting .226 as a team. But look what they've done in May. 30 homers versus 13 in April, and 78 extra base hits. Both of those categories, they're tied for, or they are second in the National League.
He swings at the first pitch. Jack Wilson gets rid of it quickly and gets Harper on a close play at first. 33 for Hudson in the first inning, just 4 pitches in the second. Inning number 2 all year long. Braves baseball on Peachtree TV is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff and the low price. Turner Field really looks beautiful tonight. Great to see all the red, white, and blue bunting around the ballpark. And we hope while you spend time with friends and family, you'll stop and pause and reflect on this Memorial Day weekend. The incredible sacrifices made by wonderful men and women in our military. God bless you all and thank you for your service.
Hear, hear.
And good crowds expected all weekend for this series. First and second place clubs battling in the East. Good pitching matchups. And Braves have a star-spangled homestand. Washington for 3, then the Cardinals for 3. Hope you make your plans to join us. Jason Hayward goes to work.
Got to get Jason going again. His average down under 240 now.
He had a 4 for 22 road trip. And watching Detweiler pitch reminds me a lot of the motion that David Price used.
Yeah, very calm, easy delivery.
Back toward us and underneath. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Hayward is down on strikes. Second punch out for Detweiler tonight.
Again, for a guy who's been scuffling and maybe feeling a little pressure from the addition of Chin-Ming Wong to their bullpen, giving him those 4 runs to work with in the top of the first against Tim Hudson, I don't know that he could have asked for a better present than that. He's going to be a little bolder going after hitters. And again, that curveball's got to be effective for him to be successful, and so far it is.
1 ball, no strikes to Braves catcher David Ross, hitting .222.
Detweiler came up last year to fill in a start for a pitcher who was injured, and he pitched so well that he stuck around and kept going and wound up 4-5 with an even 3 ERA.
Well, they really do have a good problem when it comes to starting pitchers versus slots available for starting pitchers. I mentioned Chin-Ming Wong, John Lannon. As that one drops in, the breaking ball, 2-2. You know about Strasburg, you know about Gio Gonzalez, you know about Jordan Zimmerman. And that's up and in for a full count. Little tapper toward third is foul. We'll do it again. Put it in perspective, Joe. The Nationals have held their opponents to 1 run or less 11 times this year. 2 runs or less 21 times.
That doesn't require a lot of offense, does it?
No.
219 average, 282 on base percentage. That's dominating.
Ross broke his bat.
They've
Another
spent
long at bat.
Sorry, Chip. They've spent a lot of their high draft picks that they've had over the last 5 or 6 years on pitching, and while they've used some of it in the big leagues, including Detweiler, who was the #1 pick in 2007, they've used some others like Malone and Peacock to trade to Oakland for Gio Gonzalez. So that's worked out real well for them. And of course, Gonzalez is 6-1. That was a nice trade.
We will see him Sunday. That's back to the screen. And a 3-2 count again coming to catcher David Ross. Did he go? He did not. David Ross, a 9-pitch at bat.
Did he hurt himself, David? Never seen him walk to first like that. But on that check swing, I think he hurt himself. He's looking in the dugout.
I think David Ross might have pulled a groin muscle on that check swing.
I knew something was up when he walked after it was called ball 4. He just doesn't walk down the line like that.
And Freddie Gonzalez, you could see, was looking into the dugout and calling for Brian McCann, and David Ross is not going to be able to continue, it would appear.
He's not going down the steps like he's favoring his leg. Here's the check swing. Oh, but you're right there. You're right, Chip. He grabbed the inside of his right leg. Brian McCann, who really has been so under the weather that he couldn't do anything. Take batting practice, run, jog, anything is in there after not playing at all in Cincinnati.
That sprayed foul and almost picked off Tim Hudson. It wasn't even in the on-deck circle, and now he's going to run for cover.
He went over there away from the circle so he didn't get nailed, and he almost got hit anyway.
Now it's Terry Pendleton's turn.
Well, he's getting closer to the line.
Yeah, but how about picking off one of those guys in a gray shirt, not the red shirts?
Are you kidding me?
That missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hey, they've given the base coaches helmets. I think it's time to give them gloves too. I guess it'd be kind of hard at third base to give signs with a glove on, but you could always put it on after you do the signs.
Little pop. That might drop into center field and will. Brian McCann stops at second. Jack Wilson with a bloop single. And Tim Hudson hits with 2 on and 1 out.
Again, he just kept getting closer and closer, and then got one to straightaway center. Tim's a good hitting pitcher, but with 1 out, let's see if Freddie Gonzalez wants him to bunt the runners up for Michael Bourne.
The Nationals are in at the corners. The bunt is on, and the pitch is out of the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes.
Really important, if you can, to bunt this ball to third and make Zimmerman field it, because any mistake to the pitcher or first baseman, they're both left-handed, an easy throw for them, an easier throw for them to third. Talked about Tim Hudson's first inning problems. Detweiler now up to 48 pitches himself here in the second. But he has not given up a run yet.
There's the bunt. And just what you asked for, partner. A good one from Hudson. Runners second and third, 2 outs.
Well, that brings up Michael Bourne, who had himself quite a series in Cincinnati. Look at the location of these pitches. All in the same place. All with the same swing. This one yesterday. Fastballs up and in. 4 homers in his last 52 at-bats now. 3 in that series. He had 4 in his previous 1,500 at-bats. So he's hot. He'd take a base hit right here.
You bet. 2 on, 2 outs. High fly left center. And Keel is slowing, and he's got it shy of the track. And that retires the Braves in inning number 2. Zimmerman, LaRoche, and Desmond coming up for the Nationals. They lead by 4. 4-0 Washington on our Hardy's game summary.
Tim Hudson got knocked around in the first inning, but all 4 runs scored after 2 were out. He struck out LaRoche with runners at second and third, but then Desmond a 2-run single, Espinosa hit by a pitch, and Ankiel drove in 2 more with a triple. And who's that masked man? Eric Hinsky out to warm up Tim Hudson. First time for him to do that out of necessity.
And as soon as we get the official update on David Ross, we'll pass it along. So Ryan McCann getting better, but still a bit under the weather, forced into duty tonight as we move to the top of the 3rd inning. And a strike to Ryan Zimmerman, who doubled in the Washington first. Hard to believe it, but Zimmerman's already closing in on 1,000 hits. He's 23 away from that. Two balls and a strike.
Since that home run Zimmerman hit against the Braves off Peter Moylan in the first game at Nationals Park, since that game the Nationals are 39-33 against the Braves. And remember, they used to be the Expos and used to give the Braves fits all the time.
Hudson takes away a potential hit. And that's 4 straight ground ball outs recorded by the Atlanta right-hander. And it's trivia time. Our AT Universe trivia question this evening is the only active pitcher with more career wins versus the Nationals/Expos franchise than Tim Hudson.
That's a good one.
LaRoche skies one out of play foul. My first guess on that would be Livan Hernandez.
Good call.
And upstairs now, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tim's had a good fastball so far. He had a couple of 92 fastballs in the first inning, but they were up.
Fly ball into right center field. Jason Hayward is there. LaRoche is 0 for 2 and 1 for his last 22. Strike 1 to Desmond. Ian's having a big year at the plate, but also, Joe, a big year with the glove. Remember a couple of years ago, this guy was really a black hole defensively as the Nationals shortstop.
He made over 30 errors one year.
34 2 years ago, cut that down to 23 last season. And he's at 7 coming into play tonight. That ball is hit out to second, and Hudson another 1-2-3 frame. Tim has retired 7 straight. And the 2-3-4 hitters coming up for Atlanta. Their second look at Ross Detweiler in a 4-0 Nationals game.
Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide year after year. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn, Southern hospitality at its best.
Here come the Braves in the bottom of the third inning, 4-0 Washington. As you see on our Chase scoreboard, all 4 of those runs were scored in a 33-pitch first inning from Tim Hudson. Atlanta has 2 hits. Martin Prado doubled for the first. And his average climbs another 4 points. He's up to 329. High fly ball hammered left center field. That ball is going to get down and bounce off the fence. And the outfielders collide. Lombardozzi and Ankiel tumble to the turf, and Prado moves up another 90 feet.
That was funny.
That's ruled a triple.
Well, it should be. Hanging breaking ball. Martin teed off on it. Now remember, Lombardozzi, this is only like his second game in left field. And a nice job by Ankiel to pull the old trick on him, the old schoolyard trick on him of push him over on me. Nice job. Took him out.
And then look at his cap.
That is hysterical.
Never seen that before. Here's Freeman. And he's down a quick strike.
Lombardozzi's an infielder. He's thinking, you know, I'm used to this on a double play ball. I didn't think I'd have to deal with it out here.
No balls and a strike.
Look out, Wayne Berry. That away. Quick hands. Ball ricocheted and almost took out our low first camera operator.
Can't have that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Did they call that a foul ball? I think they did. Doug Eddings threw his hands in the air like it was a foul ball.
It ricocheted off something.
They did call it a foul.
2-2.
Having trouble with that breaking ball.
And missed with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Next pitch will be his 60th.
High pop. Zimmerman gives chase. At the end of the Washington dugout, will run out of room. Freeman strikes out for the second time tonight.
Good fastball down and in. Freddie's been very frustrated on not being able to see like he's accustomed to seeing. But the way Tim has settled in, he's retired 7 in a row since the triple by Ankiel. It's important to get this run in. If you don't get anything else, get that guy in. They're conceding the run.
So far, the Braves are 0 for 4 with a runner in scoring position, and we're only in the 3rd inning tonight. Dan was late, 1-2. Braves offense was really clicking. Getting that runner in from third with less than 2 outs was almost automatic for this club. Prado tripled to start the inning. Freeman struck out. Now Uggla behind, 1-2. Two outs.
Braves have lost 5 of the last 6 games, and you can hang just about all of it on the offense, averaging 2 runs per game in those 6. But the on-base percentage is the one that's real disturbing, just a .228 mark. Just no big innings.
On the last road trip, in 7 games, the Braves had 3. As Diaz comes through with a base hit with 2 outs, that gets the Braves on the board. 4-1 game. That'll lift everybody's spirits in the first base dugout. Prado scores. Gave Diaz a 7th RBI.
Well, it especially lifts the spirits of Freddie Freeman and Dan Uggla. Takes them off the hook, picks them up. And he comes through with his 7th RBI of the year. That's a big 2-out knock right there.
Now Hayward hits. He struck out his first time up. But on the road trip, just 3 innings for the Braves offense where they scored more than 1 run.
And no more than 2 in those innings.
1 ball, no strikes to Jason. Remember, Brian McCann is on deck when David Ross hurt himself on a check swing. McCann was the pinch runner at first base. So Brian batting in the 7th spot in reserve duty tonight.
Another 3-ball count. It's his 6th already.
Detweiler's surrendered 4 hits. He's walked 2. Jason didn't think so. 3-2.
Not a bad pitch, but looked a little wide. Yeah, you're right. Chipped, especially the way Flores caught the ball.
Diaz running. And Hayward takes inside, and 2 are on with 2 out. Brian McCann with 1 swing of the bat to tie this game.
This Nationals organization has stockpiled their organization with good pitching, good arms, up and down. But Steve McCatty's done a real good job as a pitching coach of putting it together and working with these guys once they get to the big leagues and helping them get to the next level.
If you missed it, here's why Brian McCann is on as a reserve for David Ross.
Appeared to be a strained groin. He tried, after walking several steps, tried to jog to first, but it grabbed again and he had to come out of the game. So again, Brian hasn't been able to do anything except get off the training table and walk to the dugout in Cincinnati for 4 days. He's just been laid up sick.
That missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Maybe Brian can pull one of those chipper moves, you know, come right back and do something big. Since he's been in trouble this inning, he's really tried to overthrow that curve ball and hasn't been able to get it to do anything because he's trying to throw it too hard. Could have been that hanger to Prado that was hit off the wall that made him start thinking he had to make a better pitch by throwing it harder.
Pitched one past Brian a moment ago. Now a 2-2 count. 2 on, 2 out. 4-1 Washington game. And a roller out towards second. And that will retire the side. Big 2-out hit from Matt Diaz after Martin Prado started the third inning with a lead-off triple. Martin's 2 for 2. Braves creeping back into this ball game. It's a 4-1 score after 3 in Atlanta. Here in Atlanta, 2 more left with the first place Nationals, and here's a look at our upcoming schedule presented by Jameson Inn.
Steven Strasburg in his last start came out a little early with some tightness in his arm, but he said his bullpen session in between then and now was a good one. He's ready to go tomorrow against Mike Minor, and then Gio Gonzalez against Brandon Beachy Sunday night on the ESPN game.
Tim Hudson's offense has brought him back to within 3 tonight. He's retired the last 7 Nationals he's faced. He's got the bottom part of the Washington order coming up, starting with Danny Espinosa.
And a reminder, too, for the folks that are outside the metro area of Atlanta, you don't get Peachtree TV. The games are on Sports South this weekend, tonight, tomorrow night, and not Fox Sports South.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hudson takes care of Espinosa. He's thrown strike 1 to the last 8 Washington hitters, and that's the number he's retired in succession.
Like maybe a split or a slider that dropped down in there.
Another first pitch strike, this one to Rick Ankiel.
Ankiel jumped on a high fastball in the first inning, a 2-out triple. Plated the final 2 runs of the inning and gave the Nationals a 4-0 lead at that point.
One ball, 2 strikes. Line drive into right field. And Ankiel is 2 for 2. That snaps Hudson's long string of success. And now the catcher, Jesus Flores, is coming up. Speaking of catchers, we got word on David Ross, a right groin strain. David will be listed as day-to-day on the roster, although he will be re-examined tomorrow before Game 2 of this series.
With all of the illness and injuries that have plagued the Braves in the last several days, the one guy they could ill afford to lose tonight was David Ross, because Brian McCann just isn't in what I would call baseball shape after his illness the last 4 days. But he's in there.
Runner at first goes, swing and a miss. The throw is perfect.
I'd say his throwing arm is just fine. You know what he did there that he usually doesn't do? He usually shifts his feet, takes the time to get square on his throat. This time he just stepped off that back foot. It didn't move. And made a great throw. Watch his back foot. No move. No shift. Nice catch and throw. Well done.
Broken bat from Flores. And he shoots a single into right field. Flores 1 for 2. That's his first career hit against Hudson. And Detweiler will be cleared in the 4th inning. Bounced off the plate, and Hudson will take care of the Nationals in the 4th inning. Tim's due second in the home half of the 4th. It's a 4-1 game. One on our Blimpie game summary, and Joe, I'm sure Tim Hudson wishes he could have a first inning do-over tonight.
Yeah, he got 2 outs. He still had runners at second and third. Looked like he might get out of the jam, but that was spoiled by Ian Desmond, who on the first pitch he saw bounced this one back through the middle for a 2-run single to give the Nats the lead, and then Ankiel followed with a booming triple off the left center field wall. All those runs scored with 2 outs. And then with 2 out, Prado at third after he had tripled Another 2-out run scores for the Braves. This time to make it 4-1. Tim wants Jack Wilson to hit the ball in fair territory. Don't line any more over here by me.
Yeah, Tim was back in the dugout after Wilson sprayed a foul ball toward the on-deck circle. Then the next pitch by Jack said Terry Pendleton sprawling out of the way in the Braves' first base coaching box. But the third time in the at-bat he made contact, he singled. So let's see if he can start the fourth inning the same way. We hope you'll join us for Memorial Day with the St. Louis Cardinals coming to town. Monday's game starts at 1 o'clock and will feature a special pregame ceremony honoring all members of our armed forces. Get your tickets at braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000.
Braves have already stranded 6 runners, 2 in each inning. And Detweiler's pitched behind in the count a lot. Only 8 of 16 first pitch strikes.
And that was his 78th pitch.
Well, with Chien-Ming Wang activated, they were talking about how with Detweiler's struggles recently, if he ran into trouble tonight and they needed Wang to pitch in the 5th inning, that Wang needed to start warming up in about the 1st.
Wilson, a bunt. Detweiler makes a good play. 1 out. Well, he didn't start warming in the 1st, but pretty darn close.
Yeah.
One away for Hudson, who executed a sacrifice in the 2nd inning. What is it with these Nationals? Maybe not this year's ball club, but for the last several seasons, this Washington team has been one that has given the Braves fits. And when you think about the Braves trying to secure a postseason spot the last couple of years, Washington has certainly stood in the way. And ironically, against the rest of the division, they haven't played exactly like the 27 Yankees, have they?
That was what was so frustrating in September last year with the games that the Braves had left with Washington and Florida and couldn't take advantage of it. But again, the Nationals have a lot of Expos blood flowing through their veins, and I can't get past that and how these two teams, these two organizations trained together in West Palm Beach for years, and the familiarity when it was Montreal. There was no fear or reverence at all during the great heyday of the Braves in the 90s and into 2000s. Montreal always played the Braves tough.
And look at these numbers. It's really, really remarkable.
.329 winning percentage in 08 and went 12-6 against the Braves. You fast forward to last year and they played pretty much the same as they did against everybody else, but not so in the years prior.
Well, it would appear that the 2012 version of the Washington Nationals ball club is certainly for real. They are in first place. Davey Johnson's their manager. He said quite bluntly this spring, this is a playoff team. If it's not, you ought to fire me. That's what he said. And if things were to end today, they would indeed be a playoff club.
Well, he might have said that too before he lost about half of his lineup.
Oh, yeah. That was in spring training. That was one of Davey's first public comments about his ball club. And what is so remarkable is the caliber of talent that's hurt for this team, yet here they are still in first place.
Well, and I realize they don't train together anymore like the Braves and Expos used to, but they see a lot of each other in spring training. Washington trains in Vieira, and they are a semi-regular opponent of the Braves in Florida.
That one way upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the hour in Atlanta. Washington leads the Braves 4-1. Nationals scored all 4 of their runs in the first inning. All 4 runs came across after 2 were out. And Bourne hits one to Adam LaRoche at the first base bag. And that will retire the side. 4 innings complete. Still a 4-1 lead for the Nats. Monday by the Home Depot, by Blimpie, and by Georgia Power. Joe and Chip back with you at Turner Field. Big crowd tonight. Friday night fireworks. Braves and Nationals battling for first place in the Eastern Division. Tim Hudson trying to extend his all-time mark against the Nationals to 15-3. But he's got some work to do. He trails by a 4-1 score and has the top of the order coming up in the 5th inning.
Lombardozzi's dad, who had the same name, Steve, played in the big leagues. Had a nice career and spent some time with the Twins. I think might have been on that 91 Twins World Championship team that beat the Braves.
No balls, 2 strikes. Lombardozzi playing left field. Mike Morse was their left fielder for a good bit of time last season. He had a gigantic power campaign, but has had all kinds of problems with his shoulder and his lat muscle. And Morse is down in instructional league, starting to make his way back to the big league club. He hit a home run today, but is still a couple of weeks away from joining the Washington club. Lombardozzi pops it behind the plate. McCann gives chase, and Ryan won't have a play.
Well, left field's been a bit of a black hole for them. They just can't find anybody to give them any production out there with the absence of Morse. So that's why Lombardozzi is getting a chance to play there tonight, because he's been swinging the bat pretty well. And he could be out there on a semi-regular basis until Morse is ready, and nobody knows when that will be.
Way high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Nationals have Xavier Nady on this roster. They have Tyler Moore, a youngster, on this roster. stop on this one will be playable. And a basket catch made by Martin Prado for the first out. Washington also has Roger Bernardino.
Bryce Harper, the subject of a lot of media attention after he was plunked by Cole Hamels for absolutely no reason at all. And then on what appeared to be a harmless pickoff attempt by Cole Hamels, Harper got his revenge and stole home. I love that, especially with the ignorance of Hamels claiming that that's what you're supposed to do to rookies. And nobody's ever heard of that except Cole Hamels. It cost him 5 games.
And a whole lot of money, too. Harper's 1 for 2 tonight. And that one into the seats, foul. If there is any comfort for a Nationals club that finished in last place for a couple of years, it's that they got the #1 pick in back-to-back seasons. Strasburg was the #1 overall choice in 2009. Harper the #1 overall pick in 2010.
2 excellent choices.
And a line drive to left, a sinking liner. Matty Diaz hung with it, makes the play for out number 2.
It also cost them a lot of money, and to their credit, they didn't shy away from, signability issues. Well, we know this guy's going to require a lot of money. He's a Boris client, that sort of thing. So let's take somebody else. They went after the top 2 guys in the draft each year.
Here's Zimmerman. He's 1 for 2. That's a quick strike from Tim.
Zimmerman was a #1 pick out of Virginia. And then to make matters worse, they come over and hire Roy Clark away from the Braves, who had done such a good job as the Braves scouting director.
It is a cliche to say that a club is on the rise. I think that's the wrong term. I think the Nationals have risen. I don't see this team going away, not with that pitching staff, and not with some of the players they have hurting on their way back.
They're 5-5 over the last 10 games. With the absence of some of their key players. They were about 500 when Zimmerman was out for 17 games.
Zimmerman to short. Hudson continues his good work, and now the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Braves. It's a very manageable game and a 4-1 score. There's your AccuA scoreboard, 4-1 Washington. But the Braves have the 2-3-4 men coming up. Detweiler Joe is giving Atlanta some opportunities. Now the Braves have to take advantage and improve their fortunes in the Eastern Division race. Martin Prado's 2 for 2. He scored the lone Braves run and takes a called strike. Smashed past third. He's 3 for 3. Lombardozzi over quickly. 3 extra base hits for Prado and a great start to the 5th inning.
I don't know when the last time was that I saw Martin try to bunt, but the Nationals must think that he's going to try it at some point. So Zimmerman's playing in, and that was all the room that Martin needed to yank one right by him. He has hit 3 right on the button.
His 4th 3-hit game, and as we said, his 12th multi-hit game in the last 17 he's played. Now let's see if Freeman can make some contact. Freddie has struck out swinging twice. Two. Fly ball to left. That will not advance the runner. 1 out.
Freddie has dropped 20 points on his average since the Braves left on that road trip to first stop in Tampa. And you just feel for him. He's very frustrated over the fact that he can't get his sight back the way it was.
Dan has walked and struck out.
His better changeups tonight.
Now 2 balls and a strike. Just missed. 3-1 now.
Another walk. He's been patient that way, especially with runners in scoring position, Chip, which is that much more impressive because of his desire to drive in runs. But he's not doing that. He's not swinging at the expense of getting on base.
So now time called. Davy Johnson ambles out to the center of the diamond. And he's going to take the baseball from Detweiler. 4-1 game. Tying run comes to the plate as Chien-Ming Wang strides in from the bullpen. Lead. He departs with 2 base runners, and Matt Diaz coming to the plate representing the tying run. And that excites our McDonald's fans of the game.
Yeah, get down, boys. No, I'm serious. Sit down. That's enough.
That's the ledger for Chien-Ming Wang last year for Washington.
He just came back from a rehab assignment where he pitched real well in some minor league games. He was 3-0 with a 3.5 ERA and 5 starts in the minor leagues. Throws hard if his arm is right. 93, 94, and a good slider. Former Yankee.
Line drive right center field, and Keel on the road, can't get it. Prado will score. Ugla will get a green light. Streaking around toward third, Diaz, the throw, got him. Two RBIs for Diaz, and Washington with a perfect relay cuts him down at third.
Well, welcome back, Chien-Ming Wang. Slicing line drive away from Ankiel, goes all the way to the wall. That got the runs home easily. But I thought Matt Diaz may have just had a misstep at second base a little bit that really slowed him down. And again, he's been under the weather too and may not have had his legs under him by the time he got to third.
So that's an 8-6-5 putout. But Diaz with an extra base hit makes it a 4-3 game. And it's only the 5th inning.
I asked Matt after batting practice tonight right here. You see how he kind of lunged for the bag and then kind of threw his stride off? And it turned out to be a close play anyway. But I asked him after batting practice, I said, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Yeah, I got to admit, it took a little out of me. It's hot on the field right now." So these guys that have been battling flu bugs or colds, or in his case maybe a sore throat, They're just not 100%, don't have all their strength. But a good at bat there, and a new ball game.
One and two to Jason Hayward. And a high hopper hit towards Zimmerman at third. And he'll throw on the run to retire the side. Detweiler gives up 3 runs in 4 innings and a third, and new life for Atlanta. Down now, just 1 run. Peachtree TV is presented by Blimpie. Good ball game now. Braves have come back from a 4-0 deficit. Now it's a 4-3 score as Tim Hudson back to work in the Nationals' 6th.
You see Matt Diaz still breathing pretty hard.
There's never a good time for a flu bug to go through your clubhouse, but especially for the Braves, who are again in this very, very difficult scheduling stretch. They just wrapped up 16 of 20 on the road, and with this homestand left, will finish up 33 games in 34 days. And I think Brian McCann has a glove problem.
Nationals are in a stretch too. That's going to be a real challenge for them. They're 6-6 right now, or excuse me, 3-3 right now in 6 games. That is a 33 game stretch where they play all National League East and American League East.
Wow.
Tim's back in the ball game. The last thing he wants to do is walk the leadoff man, and he's 3-0 on LaRoche. Tim has set down 12 of the last 14.
That one caught a corner, 3-1. Fly ball well hit toward left. Diaz going back. He leaps at the scoreboard and hauls it in.
Went as far as he could go and then took a jump for it. Reaching for the fence so he'd know where he was. Nice catch, and he is being tested.
Here's Desmond. And a Laser hit foul to the right side. Strike one. Up the middle. Convenient hop for Jack. 2 outs. Hudson set down 14 of his last 16, and it's back to our AT Uverse trivia question. Who's the only active pitcher with more career wins against the Nationals and Expos than Tim Hudson?
Well, I liked your answer. I'm going to ride your coattails because you've been hot.
Levon, you're going to stick with Levon Hernandez? Yep. Are we right?
You know, you're not very smart, are you?
You know the answer to that. Here's Espinoza. Kevin Millwood's having a pretty good year, isn't he?
Kevin Millwood has pitched great his last 2 times out. And I think both times, well, he beat the Yankees in New York. And he just pitched a gem against somebody in Seattle. Was that New York again?
It might have been. I can't remember.
I was talking to some people up there about Kevin, and no surprise, they love him and what he brings to their ball club.
One ball, 2 strikes. It's been a milestone year for Millwood. He went over the 2,000 strikeout mark earlier this season. And that's right down Capitol Avenue, and Espinoza took it. Hudson works a perfect 1-2-3 6th. Brian McCann goes to work in the Atlanta half of the inning. It's now a 4-3 score. Scoreboard. Brian McCann ready to go representing the tying run.
And he's the subject of our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Check out this throw, and he guns down Ankiel, and it was a big play because right after that, Jesus Flores followed with a base hit. But Brian, with a quick release, didn't even shift his feet, just planted that right foot and fired and threw a perfect throw to second base for the out. Forced into action after the injury to David Ross.
Brian McCann has enjoyed hitting against the Nationals right-hander Chien-Ming Wang. 5 for 11 lifetime.
Sin-Ming Wong twice a 19-game winner while with the Yankees. Then ran into all kinds of arm problems. His most recent injury that had him on the DL was a hamstring.
Ground ball gobbled up at second by Espinosa. Good play. That's the first out of the Braves half of the 6th inning.
Espinosa is a former shortstop. He was moved to second base for an opportunity to get to the big leagues because they already had Desmond at short. So he's got a lot of range over at second.
He joins Bobby Crosby, Troy Tulowitzki, and Evan Longoria as former Long Beach State shortstops to make it to Major League Baseball. Jack Wilson's 1 for 2 tonight. Fly ball left center, shallow. And Keel covers a lot of ground and puts it away for out number 2. Base is clear for Tim Hudson. Delta Airlines, the proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves.
No surprise that Tim is hitting for himself here. He's done a great job since the first inning. Cost him 33 pitches in the first inning in addition to the 4 runs, but he's only thrown 56 total since then.
And he lines one past third. His first hit of the season.
Got a sinker that was up. Nice short, quick swing. First of many for him this year.
Michael Bourne bats. Tim just happy to be off the schneid. He was the last Braves starter to record a hit.
He's also getting lobbied there by Adam LaRoche about, be afraid to give me something to hit next time. Struggling, man.
Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tim ought to tell him, hey, I gave you a pitch to hit. You chased Diaz to the fence at the top of the inning. Bourne to LaRoche, and he'll make the throw to second, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. Bottom part of the Nationals order coming up in the 7th.
How about this play? Down the right field line. Wow, a barehanded grab on a foul ball. And not only that, but Coors Light drinkers are good fielding fans as well. As it should be, the Coors Light freeze cam caught by a Coors Light man and frostbrewed Coors Light.
Cool under pressure.
Well said. That was amazing.
And I love you too. Tim Hudson back to work for the 7th. And he's got Ankiel, Flores, and then we'll see if Davy Johnson goes to his bench. The pitcher's spots do 3rd in this inning. Ankiel really hit Atlanta pitching well last year. He's done it again tonight. 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
There's one spot you can still go when you get ahead of him, and that's up. You can elevate it, go up around shoulder to neck high, and he can't lay off that pitch. And there they go. See if they try to take him up the proverbial ladder here. Got a base hit on a 1-2 count last time. Yep. A little higher.
Good call, Joe. And Keel's down swinging.
Fifth strikeout of the night for Tim, and they just put this one a little bit higher and above his hands, and that's just one of those. Remember that line from A League of Their Own about the baby sister? Can't hit him, can't lay off him.
And Flores takes outside.
Is her name Cat? I think so. Kit. Thanks. Truck helped me out there.
Wilson at short. Quickly 2 outs. Hope you join us for Alumni Weekend, June 8th through the 10th. The Braves will face the Toronto Blue Jays on Friday night. Be here to watch the Braves retire John Smoltz's jersey in a pregame ceremony on the field. For details, go to Braves.com or call 800-745-3000. That is right around the corner. After this homestand, the Braves go to Washington and Miami. And then how about this interleague run? Toronto, the Yankees twice, the first place Orioles, and Boston. That's in June for Atlanta.
They'll be up for it. Even if there's other teams in the division that don't have to play the Yankees.
Tim's 3-1 to the pitcher. And he lost him.
His first walk. He did hit a batter in the first inning. It's all right. Chin-Ming Wong's is recovering from a bad hamstring.
The Braves don't figure him to be doing much running. Lombardozzi bats with 2 outs. Wong's career also really took a very serious sidetrack running the bases while with the Yankees down in Houston. Remember, he broke his foot at interleague play, and he missed a lot of time coming back from that injury. And that's drilled down the right field line. Lombardozzi hooks one into the corner. And he will end up at second. Wong very slowly makes his way to third base.
And that's part of what I'm talking about with him being at first base, is that you know that he's going to be very careful about having to stretch it out, and he was. Anybody else running might have scored on this, but watch his trip to third base. It was just a leisurely jog and making sure he hit the bag in stride. And all this started with a walk to the pitcher.
Braves bullpen starts to work. All 4 Washington runs scored with 2 outs in the game's opening inning. Now a walk and a double sets it up for Bryce Harper with 2 out.
First time they've had a runner in scoring position since the first inning. Harper's a guy that got it started though in the first when he singled on a 3-2 count to center field.
Tim will work out of the windup.
I know that's Ryan Zimmerman on deck, but remember, despite his double in the first inning, he's had trouble against Tim Hudson. And with first base open and 2-0 to Harper, I wouldn't give in here. Since the double, Zimmerman's grounded out twice.
And they pitch around Harper. Second walk of the inning. And now the game in the hands of Ryan Zimmerman, the Washington third baseman.
The double in the first inning was really hit hard to center over Bourne's head. But look at the location. I mean, inner third, belt high. He's made real good pitches since then with his sinker to get ground balls, and he needs another one here.
There's a good start, inside corner.
Yeah, he got a generous call there. Much to the surprise of Brian. Two-seamer that really tailed inside. Not out of this yet, but what a huge difference strike one means with the bases loaded.
Fly ball left center field on an 0-2 pitch. Look at Harper fly around third. He will score without a play, and Zimmerman breaks open this game with a double.
Oh boy. Off-speed pitch. It was supposed to be away and off the plate where he couldn't reach it, forcing him to try and cover the plate. And he was fooled, but it was right over the middle.
So the Nationals, with 7 2-out runs in this game, have a 7-3 lead in the inning. really hurt. Braves needed one more strike to get out of the inning, down just a run. Now it's 7-3.
Braves have not been very fortunate getting out of bases loaded jams this year. The opponents are hitting .314, and they have 40 RBIs in 35 at bats, including 4 grand slams. But this one all started with a 2-out walk to a pitcher who's just off the disabled list. That's what hurts.
So Eric O'Flaherty answers the AT&T bullpen call and faces Adam LaRoche. LaRoche 0 for 3 tonight.
O'Flaherty worked a couple of days ago at Cincinnati. He was in 2 of those games in that series. 2/3 of an inning each time and no runs. In fact, no hits.
Line toward right. And that will retire the side. Washington has scored 7 2-out runs in this game. And Atlanta needs to come back late. It's now a 7-3 Nationals advantage.
Seventh inning. Time for our Zaxby's indescribably good play, and tonight the good play comes off the bat of Martin Prado. A double in the first, a triple, funny triple at that, in the third, and then another double in the fifth. Another 3-hit night for Martin Prado, who this evening is playing third base. And take a look, his last 17 games, he's had 12 multi-hit games and hitting .455 over that stretch. Stay hot.
Braves need space runners now. 7-3 the score, and Prado will start things off. Martin looking for his first 4-hit game of this season. Has 5 4-hit games in his career, the last August. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just joining us, Washington scored 4 in the first off Tim Hudson. Then Tim settled down, retired 8 in a row. Allowed just a couple of hits until the fateful 7th. But a 2-out bases empty walk to Chien-Ming Wang led to 3 more 2-out runs scoring. The Braves got their first run in the 3rd inning. A 2-out single by Matt Diaz brought home Martin Prado. And then Matty also doubled off Chien-Ming Wang in the 5th inning, scoring Prado and Ugla. That's off the pitcher's glove. Espinosa, nice play and a brilliant scoop at first by LaRoche. 1 out.
That was a nice play because it looked like the ball was deflected a little bit by the Nationals pitcher, and Espinosa stayed with it and didn't field it cleanly, but was able to keep from dropping it. The Nationals bullpen, with the injuries to Drew Storen and then later to Brad Lidge, the veteran, kind of created some chaos as to who was going to close, because Henry Rodriguez was the guy they assumed would just be the 3rd guy to be the closer. He throws 100 miles an hour, but lately those have all been going off the backstop. So it's now a bullpen by committee, as noted by their manager.
A roller to the right side by Freeman. And you're right about Rodriguez. He has thrown 8 wild pitches. And so it is bullpen by committee for the Nationals, as you'll see on our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
And leading after 6 innings, they're right in there behind the Braves and Brewers in terms of those 2 teams not having given up a lead in terms of the record anyway after 6 innings, and the Nationals at 19-1. Sean Burnett, Tyler Clippard, and Henry Rodriguez have been the guys that have been kind of sharing the duty. Burnett is up in their bullpen right now.
High fly to right.
Homer and Cincy.
Not an easy out for Harper in the Atlanta 7th. We go to the 8th. Washington spoiling a big night at Turner Field.
Big inning in the first inning for the Nationals tonight. A 2-out single by Desmond put them on top. They weren't finished. And Keel with a 2-run triple high off the wall in left center. That made it 4-0. Braves had fought back to 4-3, but then on a bases loaded 0-2 count, Ryan Zimmerman on a changeup got a good pitch to hit and doubled home everybody to make it 7-3.
So another AT call to the bullpen. This one answered by Livan Hernandez, with Desmond, Espinosa, and Keel coming for Washington.
Livan worked an inning last night. Struck out 2 of the 3 he faced. And of course a former National. First time Livan has worked in back-to-back games since May 2nd and 3rd against Philadelphia. And in the second game of that back-to-back, gave up a couple of runs.
Full count. And a leadoff walk. Espinosa bats. He scored a run tonight. Well, if this score holds, Washington would hold a 2-game advantage over the Braves. Marlins are winning their game with the Giants at home in the 9th inning, so Atlanta would be potentially just a half game ahead of the 3rd place Fish. Double play ball. Wilson to Ugla. Pretty feed and a nice turn.
If Jack Wilson's done that before. I mean, the ball just seemed to hang there until Den was ready to pluck it out of the air. There we go. Nice play.
Now pop up by Ankiel. Long run in left for Diaz, and he slides in foul ground and makes a nice catch. Good defense on display in the Atlanta 8th. Now the Bats need to go to work, down 7-3. McDonald's, by the Georgia Lottery, by AT Uverse, and by Ram Trucks. 7-3 bottom of the 8th inning. Matt Diaz, who's had a big night, Jason Hayward, and then Brian McCann are all featured in this 8th inning.
Matt's had a good night at the plate and in the field.
What a job by Chin-Ming Wong so far tonight. Relief of Ross Detweiler, who came out after 4 1/3 innings. Wong has allowed just 2 hits.
And one was on the first pitch he threw to Matt Diaz.
And this ball driven to right. But Harper backpedaling, puts it away for out number 1. Jason is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Swing and a drive, crushed deep toward right. Hayward hammers one.
Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Not hard to figure out who that belongs to right here. This is a good combination for Jason Hayward, a guy who likes to throw sinkers, and attempted to throw a sinker away from him, but threw it right down the middle, and Jason clocked that one. It's our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, brought to you by Crossbreed Coors Light.
That will end the night for Chin-Ming Wong.
That was a silver bullet going out of here.
7-4 the score. Back 4 more in this Atlanta 8th after this. Four runs in a game since May 18th. Jason Hayward's solo home run has chased Chin-Ming Wong. Now the Nationals go into their bullpen. And it's Sean Burnett.
So tough on lefties with that delivery. Check out those numbers. 12 2/3 innings. 0.71. Like a bingo number. And Burnett, that crossfire action, stepping toward the first base line. Hard to pick up for the lefties.
2 balls and a strike. Nationals got Burnett from the Pirates with Niger Morgan in a deal for Joel Hanrahan and Lastings Millage.
It's turned out to be a pretty good deal for both sides.
Yep.
Hanrahan turned into the closer for the Pirates.
Popped out of the glove of Flores. Still 2-2.
His fastball tops out at about 90 or 91, but it's one of those that's sneaky quick, especially if you're a left-handed hitter, because it gets on you by the time you pick it up out of his hand. But he's also got a good curveball, and you might see it right here. Nope, I'm staying with the fastball.
Ryan McCann entered this game in the second inning. David Ross walked on a check swing, appeared to strain a groin muscle, and was taken out of the ball game. So McCann, who's still not 100%, forced into active duty tonight.
It was just a check swing right there, but David in obvious pain from the get-go coming out of the box.
So he'll be reevaluated tomorrow by the Braves medical staff. That's the second time we've seen a Braves player get hurt on a check swing. Remember Nate McLouth?
Oblique muscle for Nate. Nothing but fastballs from Burnett.
And McCann rolls one up the middle.
Brian just kept fouling him off, and he got a better one to hit. And with Espinosa playing him to pull a little bit, gets a base hit.
If Jack Wilson can do something here, Chipper might represent the tying run. He's in the on-deck circle.
I mean, this has been kind of a calamity in some respects with respect to the injuries and illnesses. With David Ross going down tonight. I had people say to me today, well, the Braves sure didn't play very well on the road trip. I said, yeah, they did, actually. They took 2 out of 3 from Tampa Bay in a tough ballpark down there. And then a bunch of people got sick and hurt, and the Reds are hot. I said, just give the Braves a chance to get healthy. I said, the Braves had to play in Cincinnati 4 games without their team on the field. And tonight, somebody else goes down.
In those 4 games, the Reds outscored Atlanta by only 8 runs. As Jack chased the ball off the plate and is the second out. And Chipper will be called back. It'll be Tyler Pasternicki. Hernandez goes an inning with a walk.
Good situation here to use Tyler with the runner being held at first base. Pasternicki's ability to go to right field, he's got a hole to work with. And as I say that, LaRoche backs up and plays behind McCann.
High hopper out towards second. And that will retire the Braves in the 8th inning. On we go to the 9th. 7-4 Washington. Part by Checkers, by Toyota, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. To the 9th we go. 7-4 Washington has the lead. Let's take a look at what else is happening with the clubs in the National League's Eastern Division. Starting with the Marlins, they held on and won tonight 7-6 and beat the Giants. Phillies and Cardinals tied, and the Mets win again. So the Eastern Division standings look this way up to the minute. He's got to improve that 4-7 mark within the division.
Only 2 teams in the division with a winning record against each other, and that's the Mets and the Washington Nationals.
So for the 3rd time tonight, we have an AT call to the bullpen. This will be Christian Martinez. Christian will try to shake off that pop fly home run that Todd Frazier hit up in Cincinnati.
His first game since then, he's 2-1. That was his first loss of the season. Brian McCann walking around at home plate with his helmet off. Was late coming out to warm up the pitcher. Eric Hensky again had to warm up the pitcher. And he's got to be reeling from having to come in the 2nd inning after Ross was injured. Again, Brian hadn't done anything baseball related in 4 days. And I was just thinking about Hudson pitched that last game in Tampa. He did not start that game. Ross caught that game. Matt Dye is playing sick too.
Jesus Flores pops one up into left, and Matt Diaz is under it, and he makes the play for the first out. We've got a fan roaming around in the outfield. So security takes care of that. And there's your first out. Let's take a look at what else is on tap in this series, starting with our Chevron upcoming starting pitchers for Game 2 here tomorrow.
It certainly is going to get a little more difficult beginning tomorrow. Steven Strasburg and his big arm going against Mike Minor, who is still trying to get himself back on track, but certainly due to have one of his good performances after he had that good stretch of starts. And the last time they hooked up, he beat Steven Strasburg. Back in September in Washington. He's had some good at bats. And Ryan Zimmerman with a Olay through the legs didn't hurt either. So tomorrow, Strasburg and Minor, and then Gio Gonzalez and Brandon Beachy on Sunday.
Here's the bigger question, though, I think. Who's going to catch for Atlanta? Almost certainly it's not going to be David Ross. Remember, it's an afternoon game, not a night game. So the recovery time for Brian McCann will be several hours shorter than normal.
Well, that knucklehead running on the field may have given Brian just a little bit of, just a second, you know, to kind of clear his head a little bit, cool off.
Chad Tracy bats in the Washington ninth. And he hits another fly ball to left field. 2 men are out. Again, David Ross out with a groin strain. Ryan McCann playing tonight with the flu. The Braves carry 2 catchers.
Yeah, they'll have to do something, depending on what evaluation they have on David Ross and his availability. But clearly, Brian McCann is not yet himself.
Gretchen Caney tells us that Gwinnett is in town. Gwinnett Braves are playing up at Coolray Field. So if Atlanta goes that route, a catcher is a 45-minute drive away from the ballpark. So Steve Lombardozzi, the batter. He's doubled and scored in 4 trips tonight. Hits that one one-handed deep right. Jason Hayward onto the warning track. Puts that away to retire the side. Top of the order for the Braves in the 9th inning. Down 7-4. 3 runs in the home half of the 9th inning.
Time for our Toyota play of the game, and it was pretty evident that after the Braves had gotten back within a run, 4-3, 2 outs, nobody on. Nats loaded the bases, and on an 0-2 count, play of the game was that double by Zimmerman that cleared the bases and gave them a lot of breathing room. And they'll turn it over tonight to Tyler Clippard, who has an opportunity for a save. It would be his 2nd of the year. A lot of strikeouts for Clippard. Bernardina comes into the game to play left field, you saw, but Clippard 24 strikeouts, 20 innings, and only 9 walks. Getting a visit from Adam LaRoche. A pep talk.
Clippard made the All-Star team last year. And had the most innings pitched among any National League relief pitcher. 88 1/3 innings with 104 strikeouts. And Michael Bourne greets him first in the Braves' 9th. And with all the trouble, as we've mentioned, that the Nationals have had finding a closer with Drew Storen out, with Brad Lidge hurting, and the wildness of Henry Rodriguez, Tyler Clippard went to Davey Johnson and said, I want the ball in the 9th inning. Well, here's his chance.
Well, a lot of people have thought he was kind of a closer in waiting on their staff behind several guys. But he is their all-time organizational leader in holds with 70. He's been an outstanding setup guy. It's a little different in the 9th inning, though.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's all elbows, kneecaps, and goggles.
Off-speed pitch retires Michael Bourne. That's the first out of the 9th inning.
That wasn't fair. Go from 93, 94 to that 80-mile-an-hour changeup. That was something.
Clippard had 1 major league save coming into this season. He has 1 so far in 2012. He's got the first out in tonight's 9th inning. Prado, 3 for 4 night. 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 runs. And he drives 1 to deep right, but it's playable for Harper, shy of the track. And the Braves are down to their final out. Freddie is 0 for 4. Just like that, it's 0-2.
things that we'll all want to know after the game is about Freddie's vision and how it was tonight, how the contacts worked for him.
And he's putting up a ninth inning fight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's your ball game. Tyler Clippard, a very impressive ninth inning, saves his second game of the season. And the Washington Nationals do it again to the Braves. They win game 1 of the season series. Tonight's final score, Washington 7, Atlanta 4. The Braves now 2 back in the National League East. We're back at Turner Field in a moment.